Hi everyone, I'm Benjamin Rogers and welcome to week 4. This week we're going to be going over technology in writing and particularly how it can be used in your own classroom.
So, in Appleby and Langer this week, we see a variety of different statistics regarding students' use of technology throughout the years. However, it is important to remember that much of the information presented comes from studies published in 2011 and 2012, almost 10 years ago. So before we begin, let me just break down a few of the updated statistics. As technology has continued to spread, I'm sure many of you, like me, have seen an increased use of various technologies by your peers. In an updated 2018 study, the Pew Research Center found that 95% of teens now report they have a smartphone or access to one, compared to the 73% in 2014. It's quite a hike. And with such steep changes in the lives of students, our own classrooms should probably also see equally steep changes to better inform and prepare our students for the digital age they live in. As you can see, 88% also had a desktop or laptop computer. So Appleby and Langer describes this as a growing prevalence of digital media in homes, which has led to calls for schools to embrace the possibilities that such media can create in supporting the writing process, building community and encouraging collaboration, as well as roving near instant access to information from sources around the world and across time. Changes, however, have progressed slowly. Why is this? Appleby specifically cites standardized testing because for many exams, the students have to handwrite their essays on demand. But change is coming. Though strides were already slowly being made to move testing online, COVID-19 in general has forced many schools and testing companies to speed up their embracing of technology. Edutopia specifically speaks to this in stating, prior to the pandemic, dozens of states had begun offering standardized tests online, a trend that's expected to grow rapidly as schools adapt to social distancing. Despite this change, students have not been exposed to online testing enough, and many may face challenges. We as teachers, of course, can offer some help in preparing them. One teacher in particular speaks of how her students are being prepared. My students are very comfortable with using technology to work on assignments, projects, and even to take an assessment. Why? Because we've been using Chromebooks since the first month of school. To get students very comfortable with technology, they need to be using it daily until the testing window begins. This is just one of the numerous benefits that we might encounter through Appleby's various explorations of technology's impact on writing. Though we all likely hope to inspire and pique the curiosity of our students, at the end of the day, standardized testing may always be part of what we teach in our curriculum. Now, Appleby specifically cites a few sections where technologies have been incorporated into school settings, providing new tools for student writing. These are word processing, new formats for presenting writing, presentational aids for traditional teaching, and creating a digitally rich environment. Before we discuss these, however, keep these questions in mind. How might you integrate technology within your own future classroom? Research a tech tool, website, app, program, or other technology that could aid you in your teaching, and design a brief lesson plan surrounding this. How does your tech tool engage students in writing within and/or outside of the classroom? While you think, let's go over these real quick. For starters, we've all seen the growth of word processing in our own classes. At the college level, almost every assignment is submitted digitally as a Word document, and those that are required to be submitted in person are printed. Our schools should mirror this, and we see this change with students utilizing Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and various other tools such as spelling checkers, grammar checkers, and the like. Likewise, when we teach, we are now able to utilize a variety of different presentational aids for teaching. From PowerPoint to Google Slides to Prezi, there's no shortage of different ways we can use technology to present information. Appleby and Langer speak to these specific different ways in citing how powerful a resource the internet has been for teachers. Unfortunately, however, technology adoption has been relatively slow. Appleby cites that less than a third of classrooms made use of technology of those that they observed. And within these classrooms, the technologies observed were mostly presentational. 29% of classes utilized an overhead projector or Elmo, but only 12% showed the teacher using a PowerPoint. 8% showed the internet being used by the teacher in the classroom, and only 5% really had students utilize word processing. These percentages are significantly low and show little to no use of technologies by students. Consider for a moment how many students in the previous slides owned a desktop computer or laptop, and how almost every student had access to a smartphone. Yet these devices are not being utilized, as they will be by these students in the future in not only college, but likely their careers, jobs, and own personal lives. Students can utilize technology in the classroom, particularly when it comes to writing. Appleby and Langer detail a variety of different ways students can write digitally. They use PowerPoints to present, blogs, wikis, and discussion boards to collaborate and respond directly to others. And podcasts can even be used to traverse the divide between the spoken and written world of writing. We can utilize each of these to create a digitally rich environment in our own classrooms. We can excite and motivate students through the use of a wide variety of materials and online resources. Appleby even cites miscellaneous tools such as ProQuest, to Culturegrams, to BrainProp, and there are so many more. Woo! Alright, so let's switch gears a bit. In Daniel's reading this week, there are a variety of writing to learn strategies described in complete detail. And before I dive right in, consider what we just discussed about technology and writing. Writing to learn is very different, having students write within the classroom without technology. The two, however, are not mutually exclusive, and I believe if you actually did wish to look deeper into it, you could try to find a way to utilize technology in these writing to learn strategies. Now in Chapter 3, Daniel covers these various strategies, and I'll just briefly touch on each of them as you have a guide to each within our own textbook. So first, we have writing break, which can really be boiled down to shut up and let the kids think, a personal favorite of mine. Second is exit slip, where students quickly jot down a response before the bell. Admit slip is the opposite of this, having students bring a short piece of writing to class. Now we have drawing and illustrating, which allows students to show ideas through illustrations. Brainstorming is exactly what you think, having students come up with a lot of ideas in a short amount of time. And then we have clustering, which begins with a keyword and has students branch out ideas from there. Alright, just a few more. Mapping is up next, and that allows students to arrange groups of ideas in order to show relationships. Students can use notes in written conversations between one another, or write-arounds which delve deeper into a complex topic. Next, we have reflective writes, which have students write to become more conscious of what they are learning. You can kind of think of carousel brainstorming as kind of a way of sharing ideas in order to respond through writing to different prompts. And if you've ever used a pro-con list, you'll likely have no problem understanding double-entry journals. And finally, we're down to the last three. Nonstop write is exactly what it kind of sounds like. It's basically a timed writing exercise to a specific prompt. Now, KWL is quite big, and I remember it by considering each letter as matching the words know, want, learn. Or in Daniel's, what do you know, what do you want to know, and what have you learned? There's a lot of research and articles about KWL, its uses and its successes, and I would urge you to consider delving deeper into it if it sounds like something that could benefit your own classroom. Oh yes, and lastly we have teacher-student correspondence, which is exactly as it sounds, and can have a host of different benefits. As you can see from just this, there's a lot of different strategies for you to choose from, and you can experiment with each of these or edit them to fit to your own class. Hopefully my short snippets have helped you remember them a bit, as I am sure they will be important to your future teaching endeavors.
Wow, that's quite a bit of information. I personally love technology and I'm pretty excited to use it in my classes in the future. But we're all different. So, after exploring the content for this week, in addition to the previous question that I asked you, let's talk about how excited or what might your thoughts be on using technology in your own classroom? And of Daniel's writing to learn strategies, did any stand out to you?